Hey everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Sedan E30 build. On this episode, we're going to start off with the interior, what we're going to do with the interior, what we've got planned, and obviously you see the seats behind me or next to me, and let me tell you all about it. So you may remember from episode 1 with the introduction, we spoke about the seat being broken, we spoke about the blue interior, the rear partial shelf. It's the early model. Somebody's upgraded the speakers, but we have no idea if they work because, well, the stereo system is not existent, not working. So with that, what we're planning to do is swap the entire interior out. But we're also going to do the dash because, as you can see, the dash has cracks. Now, surprise, surprise, we've already replaced the steering wheel. We've put this little guy in there. Nardi classic. It's got the red stitching. Pretty sweet. The original steering wheel just wasn't doing it for us since been daily driving it most of the time. The carpet is in good shape, but it's pretty dirty. Lots of cat and dog hair, who knows what else. You can see somebody's chewed on this. Some type of animal, if only cars could talk. And yeah, it's just dirty. Now, the reason we've removed this section here, the center console and the glove box, is because we've sent that out to get leather wrapped along with the dash. So with that, second part of this is we're going to start pulling everything out and showing you what we do. I'm also going to spend the time to show you how to do the headliner. A lot of people have asked for that. And here's our beautiful cluster that Bavarian Restoration has restored for us. This is, you may have noticed, this is a late model. You can see the RPM range is higher. The car is an E, which is a 2.7, but since we're upgrading the motor, we need the corresponding RPM range and corresponding cluster to go with that. We've kept the fuel gauge the same as the E because we've got a different gas tank from late model to early. They're completely different. And we've kept the mileage. Everything else has been restored. Let's turn this guy around. See that here? Got new bulbs. The cluster has been tested. It's got warranty. And you can send that in and get yours rebuilt the same way. Bavarian Restoration. They're on the internet, Instagram, and all that. And that's primarily who we use. We've used them for years. They've been good friends with us, and we're happy to continue to use them. So with the replacement interior, we acquired this from our Europe partners. This is an M-Tech purple. I think that's what you call it. I've been a huge fan of the BMW sports seats, primarily with the cloth in the center. And the reason behind that is because during the winter months you're not cold, or your butt cheeks are not cold, and summertime, because we're in California, you don't sweat as much, and also you don't move around in them. Now, it was in pretty good shape. They just need to be cleaned. The rear even has headrests, which is really cool. But during shipping, somehow we ended up with this little tear here. Now, it's not because the cloth is old. It's really not. We believe it was done by customs because it had a bunch of customs paperwork with it, and they noted that they opened it. And we have video and pictures of all the items that were shipped to us and the condition of them. And then when it arrived, the plastic sheeting was all cut, and this cut was there. So I think when they cut this to inspect it, they cut the seat. There's no way to prove it, so instead of dwelling over it, we're just going to repair this, get everything cleaned up, and get it ready for installation. Installation of the interior is going to be part 2 of the interior video. Also, as part of the interior, we acquired this rear speaker shelf. This is kind of a Euro model. It's pretty cool. It's got the sunshade that goes with it. Pulls out. Really cool OEM feature. We're going to go ahead and upgrade the speakers. We're going to get our seat belts. Still deciding on the color of the seat belts we're going to go with. Most likely red for motorsport. But yeah, exciting. Things are coming together. I think it'll be a cool little car once it's all together and at a new level. Now, in terms of the headliner, this is the exact headliner we sell on our site at seeitune.com. See, we call this a German cloth, black cloth. Very, very close to the E30 M3, E28 M5. The new material has foam backing, which is kind of nice because it makes your interior a little quieter. It also helps with heat. The way we do these is just like factory. So it's got the belt loops. This is for the headliner, for the sunroof portion of it. And this is the main section here. This one, as you can see, this one's labeled E30 Sedan. You can see it's got the belt loops here. The rods go through there. And that's what suspends it. And then the rest gets glued on. So in preparation for the interior, what we're going to do is we're going to clean everything up. I've already done this one. You can see how much better that color looks. More vibrant than that. And so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on this one. I'm using the Tornado cleaning tool. You can get this on Amazon or wherever you get your cleaning products from. You put whatever desired solution here. Typically, you want only about 2 fingers worth of actual detergent. The rest is water. This is hooked up to an air source. I've got it turned up for the maximum amount of fluid coming in through here. And I'm going to go ahead and do it. Here we go. You can see the dirt coming off. And then what you want to do, once you aerate it, on this part here, you can use just about any rag. I'm doing this one-handed, so bear with me. And you see all the dirt coming off. See that? Now I'm going to do the material the same way, but this time I'm going to use one of these rags so that way I don't get a bunch of fuzz left over. Here we go. You want to push through the material, push the dirt to the outside. You can see the dirt coming up. Doesn't take very long. It's on the rag. That's what we want. We want to get rid of all that dirt, dust, and whatever else. Once we get it all cleaned up, what we're going to do is re-glue all of the back plates and then get all new clips put on. Half of these clips are broken. We're going to put the green ones in here. The green ones are much better. These white ones don't do the trick. What happens is your door panel rattles and it doesn't stay put. Now here's a little hack for you guys. If you got a door panel that has it's plastic pocket that has a bunch of scratches like this from your feet, and you want to get rid of them, but you don't want to take this off to repaint it. All right, well, I got a solution for you. Get a heat gun, hair dryer, whatever you have. Come up here. Don't get too close. Now move around so you don't get too much heat on on those scratches, so you don't change the color of it. But what it will do, it'll start to hide them. Gradually go back and forth. This might take you a few minutes, but you'll see those scratches start to disappear. I mean, this is not a foolproof way of doing it, but it definitely helps. Because at the end of the day, this is just plastic, so if you're applying some heat to it, it'll kind of melt the plastic a little bit on the surface. It'll hide the scratches. You can see they're getting much better. But obviously taking this off and respraying it is the way to go. That's exactly what we're gonna do, but I just wanted to show you this little trick. See, it got better. You need to apply a couple more minutes to it and it'll get even better and better. All right, now that your panel is clean, what you wanna do is replace the clips. These are the ones I was talking about. These are the green ones. These are an improvement to the original white ones. The original white ones are these. Believe it or not, yeah, after being 30 years in here, they're brittle, they're gonna break, they're gonna rattle. Here's the part number. So order a bunch of those and get them put on. The way to put these on is circular motion. Put it in, twist into the hole until it goes in. Hard to do with one hand. Sometimes you can use a flat screwdriver, stick it in between the veins, and that'll guide you in a little easier to put in. But yeah, once it's broken like that, use some tweezers, cutters, and just cut it out. But yeah, you can see that's no good. Get that replaced, and the next thing we're gonna do is put this back in. There it is. All right, we've got all our clips replaced. On to the next step. We're gonna use 3M high strength 90 spray adhesive. Same stuff we're gonna use in the headliner. This is the same thing we're gonna use here. What we wanna do is get this put back to where it's gonna hold in place. It's not gonna move around on us. We're also gonna fix these things like this. So the way to do that is you want to spray this down a little bit, let it tack up, and then all you're going to do is put some pressure on it. That's it. This stuff holds really, really well. All right, so what I want to do is I want to fix this here. Originally, they've got staples here. The problem with staples is sometimes you staple it and it goes through, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just glue this up. What I'm going to use, again, is the 90 spray adhesive. I'm going to spray it. I've got a little box here, so when I spray it, I don't get overspray all over the ground, myself and whatever. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do this one-handed. It doesn't take much. It's all right if you got glue on the outside that's not really going to be seen because it's on the inside. If you're really particular, you can tape this off and then tape the tape line off. What I'm going to be using, though, I got to let this sit for about 30 seconds. Then I'm going to put a piece of mixing stick or a mixing stick on the outside like that, and I've got these little clamps here, so when I clamp it down, I'm not going to leave any marks on the parts that you're going to see, because we don't want any marks. We want to keep it nice. All right, and there you are. You got the little mixing stick there to distribute the weight and also help with the marks. I'm going to let that dry up. Dry time is maybe 5 minutes at most. It doesn't take that long. While we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and spray the panel itself. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the inside. That way both surfaces are tacky. And then we're going to just press it down. It'll go down like butter. This glue is very strong. It's tacky. You just lay it down where it needs to go and press. And this will have a really strong bond. It's not going to go anywhere. You try to install the door panel, it's going to stay in place. It's going to stay put. And that's what we want. You can try to tear this stuff off, it's going to start coming off with the baseboard. That's it. Give it 5 minutes, ready to install. Boom. So I'm pulling the windows out. This is what we're going to use. I'm going to use these plastic wedges. You can get these online or on Amazon or just a local glass place. You see this one's thicker, this one's thinner. They have different lengths. This one's got a hook on the end. What you want to do when you're pulling out glass is you want to take the locker out first. Careful with the corners so you don't bend them, as it is pliable metal and it will bend really easy. Once we get the locker out, and we're not looking to save this because I'm going to replace it with a shuttle line version of this locker. We want to save this, the main rubber. And then we want to work the glass so gently so that way we don't break the rear glass, because these are not available new. And we want to pull the rear glass out. On the front, we're not so concerned about the front windshield because we're going to replace it with a new one. And honestly, it has a lot of damage everywhere, even though it's not cracked, and it's also yellowed out over time. So if you put this glass next to a brand new one, you'll see that this is actually yellow. And when you replace it with a new one, it looks so much better. Let's get to it. Now, yeah, when you got old lockers like this, they will crack on you. So be careful and watch your eyes. But once you get it in like this to where you can pry it up, you can use a flat screwdriver, but as I said, these are the way to do it. Just makes it so much easier. You want to pull the locker out, kind of work it out like that, and then this will go in the trash. And it's the same thing, you can see over time how much debris and everything that collects in here. And sometimes you take the seal out, you'll actually find rust in here. So I'm hoping that there's no rust in there. I don't see any when I open up the trunk, so hopefully that's the case. But yeah, this white stuff that you see here, that's factory sealant. So it's unlikely that anyone's been in there before, which is a good sign. But sometimes we find window glue in here, and that's what we don't want to see, because it shouldn't have window glue. The locker does a really good job at sealing out the water. All right, so once you have your locker out all the way around the window, well, what I like to do is just take your pick, kind of shove it in all the way at the end, bend it out to the edge of the window, see, like that, and just kind of clean it out. Run it across all the way around. You'll actually feel the window start moving, and the window will want to kind of move freely. Now, an additional step that I like to do is I like to use the quick release agent. Now, this dries without any marks, and it also helps to release the glass It also helps if there's any glue inside there, it kind of softens it and makes the job a lot easier. You can buy this online all over the place. It doesn't matter really on the brand, just as long as it's the quick release agent. This is the one we order. This is the one we use. Here at the bottom, it's not so critical, but we want to definitely get those corners. We're also trying to save this main rubber. The main rubber is really expensive. It's over $200 from BMW. There used to be an aftermarket version, but it was terrible. I don't think it's available anymore. If we're doing a high-end restoration, we're typically replacing this. So that's not so much of a big deal, but on this car, I'm trying to save the money. I'm trying to save the seal. So I'm spraying the release agent to kind of, and you can see the release agent is penetrating through the window to the other side. And that's what I want to see, is I want it to start releasing the glass in order to save it, because I'm not trying to break the rear glass, even though I have extras, but it'd be nice to put this one back in. All right, so now that I've sprayed the release agent and kind of stood there for a couple minutes, kind of did its magic, I'm gonna get the pick and I'm gonna work my way through and see if I can get the window. You can see it's starting to move. Now, I have to warn you, it can still crack. I'm not responsible if you start to go do this and the window cracks. Everything that I'm showing you is just what I know and what I've been doing for years and what we do here in the shop. You may have a better solution for this. That's great. This is just how I know to do it. So here we go. You can see it moving. See it? I'm going to gently work it. And I'm going to get a couple more picks, stick them in there, and pry it. And that'll give me the leverage that I need. It's always a little nerve-wracking. You have to kind of like feel it. Make sure you're not putting too much pressure on one point so you're not, cracking the glass. The glass is not going to shatter in little small tiny pieces because I think they call it tempered. So it'll crack on you. So hopefully, let's see what happens. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go all around to the other side and relieve some of this tension, because I'm putting all the tension here, but it's kind of crooked and it's pushing there. So I'm gonna go around and push on that side, do the same thing, pick up the corner. Once I do that, that glass will just come up and I can just pull it out after I disconnect the window heaters. I'm just poking it so to make sure that the rubber is not holding it in place. Okay. There we go. Okay. Having a few picks kind of helps. Different thicknesses too, because one may be too thick for what you're trying to do, and another one may be too thin. So I was just getting a feel for it. Almost there. All right. Okay. I think now it's just holding it here on the edge. There it goes. All right, I'm gonna disconnect the electrical here. And the inside, that side is already disconnected from earlier. And I'm gonna pick up the glass. There you have it. All right, so with the main seal, all you're gonna do is just kind of, there's no wrong way or right way to do that. You're just working yourself around. You don't want to yank on it too hard and rip it, but just put it in place. Like that. Come around. the side. You can see all the dirt that's coming out. Now, if this was a really nice car, after paint, this would already be out, so that wouldn't be a solution. But if we have a car and it's got really nice paint, we're not just gonna put something like this on here and get it all scratched up. We're gonna have something laid over. This car, you know, the paint best describes maybe patina, so I'm not really too concerned about that. But you can see all the dog hair, cat hair over the years and stuff like that. So another positive reason to do this is to clean all this junk out. We're gonna pull this speaker shelf out. I'm gonna clean all this and disinfect it. Let's be honest, it's gross. All right, guys, so on the front, we're gonna do the exact same thing we did on the rear. We're gonna start by removing the locker, and then we're gonna try to save the main seal. The windshield, I'm not gonna be babying it. I'm not gonna really care about it as much because I wanna replace it. Well, that's it for this episode. And on the next episode, we'll probably get back to building the motor, or we might tackle the interior. I haven't decided that yet, but there's a lot going on, and I hope you learned some stuff. I hope you subscribe, comment, like, all do or don't like, whatever may be the case, but we do appreciate it, and thank you very much. Until next time, bye.